What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the TheSlamDuncan YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to be breaking down Patrick Williams' defensive highlights at FSU. I did a previous video on Patrick Williams and his highlights at FSU, but just his offensive highlights in my previous video. If you have not seen that video, go check it out. Link will be in the description box below and also up in the cards. I want to thank you guys for those that watched the video. It's doing really, really well. So thank you guys for watching that video. Hope you guys really enjoyed that video. Also hope you guys enjoy this video, which, by the way, if you do enjoy this video, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new around here, hit that subscribe button. And I hope you guys really enjoy me breaking down players and their highlights. But to start off with Patrick Williams and his defense, I want you guys to pay attention to three things as I go through this. One is his off-ball defense. Number two is his versatility. Number three is his reaction time. So I'm going to show you some clips here that I think show basically everything in Patrick Williams' defensive game. As we all know with AK, that he really values guys that are two-way players and defensive guys that are really versatile, guys that can guard multiple positions and do multiple things on the floor. So, first thing we heard about Patrick Williams when he was drafted was his athleticism and his defense. So this is, I think, shows like how AK kind of visions him in the defense in the NBA, because Patrick Williams could do a lot defensively that, won't always show up in the box score, won't always be recognized every single night, but it's going to have a really big impact on this Bulls team. So first clip I'm going to show you here is just his rim protection. So this is kind of like a transition play for Louisville, but right now Patrick Williams is guarding the guy with the ball here. Watch how much he does in just this one possession of defense. Block there, and a block right there. Ball goes out of bounds. Great. So first thing is this, I want to point out, is that with Patrick Williams on this play here, you're going to see that he's guarding the guy with the ball right here, right? And then there's a pick set, so it's a pick and roll play. So right when the pick is set, which is kind of more of like a little slip screen, he then goes with the roller, and he's able to stay with that roller, and he's able to block the shot on the guy that's bigger than him, who had a clear advantage. And then after the ball comes down, he blocks then another shot right after. So in just one play, you saw that he can guard a guy that's, handling the ball on the perimeter. He can switch onto a guy that's bigger than him, and then he can stay with that guy and has the vertical to go up and block his shot, and then have the awareness to also then block another shot after that. So it's just, in one play, it shows you everything that Patrick Williams can really do defensively. So as we keep going here, it's kind of a similar thing now. Now he's more just he's guarding the big man that's playing in the middle right now. And right here, you see his ability off ball to protect the paint, which is something that we didn't really always talk about with Patrick Williams, but his ability to protect the paint, at least, maybe not block the shot, but at least change the shot, is something that's so big in his game. So right here, you see, blocks the shot right here. They get it back, but then he doesn't block this shot, but he at least changes the shot and the guy misses. So either way, with Patrick Williams, it's that with him that he can at least change the shot. And, pair him alongside the guy with Wendell Carter Jr., who we already know that he can protect the rim really effectively and, change a lot of shots. That's hard for a defense to get to once they get into the paint. Like, they're not going to be able to have the easiest time scoring in the paint because you got Wendell Carter Jr. and Patrick Williams, who, even if Patrick Williams is playing on the perimeter, he can still get up and block some shots just coming from the perimeter into the paint. So next play I want to show you here is his really good on-ball defense on the perimeter and his reaction time. Like, this really shows his reaction time right here. So he is guarding the main ball handler right here, and he knows that his defense, his help defense, is at least to the right of him. So he's going to force the guy to the right, and the guy kind of beats it, but boom, he blocks a shot right there. So again here, you could argue it's like, oh, that's not that good of a defensive highlight, Duncan. Like, he got beat. Well, first thing is that he forced the guy in the right direction, in my opinion. You can argue that, though. But his reaction time, once the guy was beat, like, he stuck right with him, and he just swatted that ball easily once the guy took the layup. That shows just, one, obviously his length, verticality, but two is just, if you don't have that reaction time to, notice once you're beat, you got to get back to your dude, and then all of a sudden after that you block the shot, like, that shows how good of a reaction time Patrick Williams has. Now, obviously with the NBA, guys are faster, guys can probably get by him much quicker, but at the very least, I know this with Patrick Williams, he's not going to get overpowered on defense. He is 6'8", 225. I expect him to get bigger and stronger as he matures, and already having that sort of NBA-ready body is just going to help him. And there aren't going to be a lot of guys that are going to be overpowering him. So because of his body frame already, I can see him guarding, guys at shooting guard, small forward, and power forward. And as he gets bigger, potentially even guarding guys at center, which then allows the Bulls to do sort of like a switch everything defense, which would be really awesome if we can get to that point. But I have one more clip for you to show basically just kind of one play that just shows how effective Patrick Williams could be in just one possession on defense. So this is against North Carolina. So right now, pay attention to the shot clock. There's 20 seconds left. But just in general on this play for North Carolina, you're going to kind of see that they really didn't get much out of this possession. And the shot that they did get, which is, in hindsight, like a good shot, but it doesn't convert, and you'll see why. But the main thing is that they got this shot like very late, and it was kind of a scramble to get to it. And it was because of a breakdown on FSU. But just watch Patrick Williams, who is currently right where my cursor is right now. Watch what he does this entire play. So Cole Anthony right now has the ball, and you're going to see his screen get set here. So right now, Patrick Williams takes away that passing lane, which is really, really good because right now, if you look at what FSU does, FSU is fronting the post area, which takes away that passing lane for Cole Anthony. So he blocks then this passing lane here and on the perimeter. And then you see right here that FSU is switching everything as they did at this pick and roll and also, off ball. So now Patrick Williams is going to go up and then he's going to try to deny that guy, but he doesn't 100% deny him. But at the very least, you saw that he got pushed to really far out on the perimeter. So now there's 15 seconds left on the shot clock, and North Carolina really doesn't have much of anything happening for them right now. So now Patrick Williams is guarding the ball. Watch what he does. Forces this guy to his left where his help defense was, and now this guy's stuck. And with Patrick Williams' length, this guy really has nowhere to go right now. So Patrick Williams does a good job, so he gets it out. Now, keep paying attention to what Patrick Williams does here. Again, they switch. Again, he can guard multiple people. So right here was the breakdown defensively. So I'm going to roll this back just a little bit here. So right now it's going to be like a kind of a horn set kind of going up here. So this guy right here for FSU, he kind of lost his dude. He kind of just blanked for a second. So his man right now is rolling. And as you can see, he has absolutely no idea. So Patrick Williams does the right thing here. He kind of takes up his man for a little bit. But as Cole Anthony moves the ball from right to left here, this all of a sudden becomes the strong side. And because of that, Patrick Williams has to go out to the corner guy because the ball is on the strong side. And, no one is really in the vicinity of that guy in the corner except for Patrick Williams. So he does the right thing here. So he does that. Now, ideally, his teammate would have gone back to the guy he was supposed to be guarding here because that would have made this shot even harder for North Carolina, but he doesn't. But watch Patrick Williams' reaction time. Watch this. He sees that the ball's going to the middle, and he goes right to the guy who's bigger than him, taller than him, and blocks a shot from behind. This is what I get excited, because when's the last time you saw a guy like this on the Bulls? If you really think about it, it was Jimmy Butler that had, he can guard multiple positions. He can guard the interior. He's really effective in the passing lanes, has quick reaction time. You haven't seen a guy like this since Jimmy Butler. And even before then, I would argue that, it's a guy like Luol Deng who can do the exact same thing. But having those types of guys on your team, as we've seen, are extremely valuable. So Patrick Williams, in just that one possession, we saw that he can, guard multiple positions. He can get in the passing lanes. He can force guys out farther out into the perimeter. He can shut guys down. He knows where his help defense is. And we saw his reaction time at the end of the play, which the big man being open wasn't his fault. But in just that one play, you see everything that he can do. And, not every single NBA player can do such a thing. So that's the stuff that I think with Patrick Williams, he's just going to be really, really good at defensively, which may not always show up in the box score, but it's those little things that's really going to help this team win games on the defensive end. So now with me, I'm thinking okay, how is he going to fit in a Billy Donovan run defense? Here's the thing with Billy Donovan. I watch a lot of Thunder games, so I pay attention to what the Thunder have run the past few seasons. But Billy Donovan has run a lot of different defensive schemes at his time in OKC. I'm going to show you a defensive scheme from 2018-2019 season. So this is when Paul George and Russell Westbrook are still on the team. By the way, go follow Coach Daniel. He does a really good job breaking things down. But I'm specifically just talking about the pick and roll. In this season, OKC switched everything on the perimeter. But when it came to the defense with the pick and roll, which is always the most important thing on a defense, you see that the defense actually blitzes. So right here, you're going to see that Nerlens Noel is the defensive center. Karis LeVert has the ball. There's the pick, and right here, here's the blitz. So they double team the guy with the ball, which then leaves Ed Davis open, right? Ed Davis was the screener. Now, here's the thing. Jim Boylan ran a blitz defense as well for the Bulls, and as you saw, there were times it just wasn't very effective, and in my opinion, it wasn't really that good at all. But watch what happens here. When you run a blitz defense, you need to have rotations like that. It has to be on point, or else it doesn't work. And watch Dennis Schroeder here. This is extremely important to pay attention to. So Karis LeVert has to make this over-the-head pass to Ed Davis, but watch what Dennis Schroeder does. Schroeder then is realizing what's happening, and his man Russell's over here. He meets Ed Davis like here. He doesn't meet Ed Davis at the rim. He meets Ed Davis like out of the paint. And that's important because it then allows Nerlens Noel to run back to Ed Davis. First, he doesn't have to cover as much ground. And number two, it makes sure that Ed Davis isn't a threat, because Ed Davis is not as much of a threat here than he is like right at the rim. So he stops Ed Davis, which then allows Nerlens Noel to come to him. And now it's up to the defense to get back to the perimeter guys. And with an athletic team like how the OKC Thunder was in 2018-2019, we have Paul George, you got Jeremy Grant, Russell Westbrook, Dennis Schroeder. This is a type of defense that can be run. And as you see here, as the ball's thrown out, Paul George then goes to the guy with the ball. Now, ideally here, Dennis Schroeder would go back to his man and D'Angelo Russell, and Noel will keep Ed Davis. But either way here, you need someone to cover the corner, and Nerlens Noel is the guy that does that. The contested shot, miss. Pretty good defensive possession, right? So there's that. Now, the Thunder defense for this season, the 2019-2020 season, it was a little bit different. And this shows where I think Billy Donovan is actually a pretty good coach. He understands the types of players that he has on his team. So, with this Thunder team, like, everyone's really athletic, everyone's really long. Like, they have a bunch of versatility on this team, and guys can run out to the perimeter guys pretty effectively. On this team, though, they don't really have that. And, they got pretty quick guys and good defensive guys like Lou Dort. Chris Paul's still pretty good defensively. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's, he's pretty okay. And Dennis Schroeder's still on the team. But the main thing here is this. You got a guy like Danilo Gallinari. And Danilo Gallinari is not the greatest defender. He's not really that good of a defender at all. So instead of doing a blitz-type defense that forces all the guys to be rotating and moving all around the place, he instead does a drop coverage defense, which then is just going to have the center man here in Mike Muscala kind of drop down. But what this allows is that it doesn't have to, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander doesn't have to move over, which then would have to move Dennis Schroeder, and everyone would be kind of running around the perimeter. But this allows instead for every single guy to kind of just stay on their man, and they would move if necessary. But as you see here, this is guarding James Harden pick and roll. You saw Muscala drop down, which then allows all three of the perimeter guys off ball here to just kind of stay at where they are. And this is good because you do not want Danilo Gallinari to be running around on the perimeter. He is not very quick on his feet, and any single person can just pump fake and blow right past him. So Billy Donovan, aware of this, doesn't run a blitz-type defense. He instead runs a drop coverage. And the reason why I'm pointing this out is just because I think Patrick Williams in either of these defenses are going to be really effective. And whether he's, whatever position he is, whether he's, off ball on a perimeter, if he's guarding the guy with the ball, or if he's potentially even the guy guarding the screener, he can really do anything and fit into any sort of defensive scheme. And same goes for Wendell Carter Jr., who's going to be the defensive anchor for this team. So I'm pointing this out because I do not know what defensive scheme Billy Donovan's going to be running. I kind of expect more of a drop coverage just because of the personnel the team has currently. But either way, I think I see Patrick Williams fitting in really effectively, even no matter what type of defense Billy Donovan runs here. And then the other thing I want to bring up is this. I have not seen the Thunder under Billy Donovan ever run a zone, but just kind of throwing that idea out there that Patrick Williams could be really effective in a zone, as we saw with the Miami Heat with their 2-3 zone defense, right? So right here with Miami Heat, the 2-3 zone is basically they have their two really long athletic defenders up at the top here when Jimmy Butler, Jay Crowder, and then you have Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson, the not the greatest defenders and not as long on the corners, and then obviously Bam Adebayo is the biggest part to this, and he's the guy in the center in the middle, and he does a lot of things that it just goes unseen in this 2-3 zone. But main thing here is that Patrick Williams is a guy like Jimmy Butler, Jay Crowder defensively that, guard multiple positions to get in passing lanes. They're really long wingspan. Like, this is something that could potentially be run, if the Bulls defense isn't that great man-to-man. I don't expect this to happen, but it's just an option for the Bulls. And, again, versatility, options available to you is just something good in the NBA right now. You want to have as many options to you as possible on both ends of the court. So it's just something to point out that could potentially be run for the Bulls. I don't expect it to be run, though. Last thing here, before I wrap up this video, I want to show you why this the defense that Jim Boylen ran, his blitz defense, just did not work. I'm all for the blitz defense because Wendell Carter Jr. can run that blitz defense really effectively because he's really quick on his feet. He can also run the drop coverage really effectively as well. The Bulls also didn't really switch that much, which I think, if let's say it's a 1-2 pick and roll, I think you should just switch it. Jim Boylen just was not a fan of that for some odd reason. But I'm going to show you why this blitz defense here is not going to work very effectively like how it did in this clip right here. So right now you got Damian Lillard with the ball, right? Pick and roll. And you're going to see Hassan Whiteside set a screen here. So here comes the pick. All right, immediately they double team Damian Lillard. Now, we talked about how important Dennis Schroeder was in this clip right here, right? He met Ed Davis at outside of the paint, basically, which allowed enough time for Nerlens Noel to get back, and it forced Ed Davis to throw the ball out. So Hassan Whiteside, it's kind of a similar idea here. Now, what needs to happen is, one, Satoransky can't move. This is the strong side right now with the ball, and if Satoransky moves from McCollum, there is no one else in the vicinity of McCollum. Satoransky has to stay there, which he does. So it's up to Coby White here to meet Hassan Whiteside. Now, ideally with Coby White, I know he's a rookie, he still has a lot to learn, but with Coby White, ideally, he meets him right here. Because what this does is that it slows Hassan Whiteside down from not being able to get right to the rim, which he's more effective, obviously right at the rim than the free throw line. But it also allows Wendell Carter Jr. to not have to run so far to get back to Hassan Whiteside. And it doesn't put Hassan Whiteside in such a threatening position. So the thing is, though, when you watch this play, that doesn't exactly happen. Now, doesn't exactly hurt the Bulls. But here's the other part that doesn't fit well with this type of defense for the Bulls, and that's Lauri Markkanen. Think Lauri Markkanen as like Danilo Gallinari. He's not a good defender. And having a 7-footer, having to try to guard between Rodney Hood and Melo and running back and forth on a perimeter, it's just not that's just not going to set you up for success. And that's where I think it's going to be important with Billy Donovan, is that he's going to understand the types of players he has on his team. So running like a blitz defense with Markkanen at the 4 is just not going to work in today's NBA game. So when you watch this play, just watch. So Coby White, he kind of gets there, but he doesn't really stop him. And now once the ball does get swung over to the wing here, it is Coby White's job to run to Rodney Hood. But let's say Coby White stopped Whiteside right here, and then it would be up to Markkanen to make sure that neither Melo or Hood here get a wide open shot. But if Coby White kind of just pushed Hassan Whiteside just a little bit up farther here, then Carter Jr. would have gotten to Whiteside much quicker, which then would allow Coby White to be more get to his main defender much more quickly. And as you see right here, though, it's just, while the ball doesn't get thrown to Whiteside or Hood here, you've got Lauri Markkanen coming out to Melo on skates, which just that's just not going to be good for the team. And obviously Melo hits the jumper. So here's the thing, about that blitz defense. It's just, you have to have the right guys on the court. And clearly with this team right now, while Zach LaVine's really athletic, Wendell Carter Jr. is really good on his feet, that's basically it. You need long, athletic guys who can guard multiple positions and are quick on their feet and able to run at guys to get them off the three-point line very effectively. And this team just didn't have it. And that's where I think with Billy Donovan, he's going to be able to adjust. And, let's say they do run a blitz-type defense. I see Patrick Williams being able to fit in so effectively no matter what types of role he's going to be in, whether he's off ball, the guy helping, the guy in rotation, or the guy guarding the ball. He's going to be so effective and just help this defense as a whole, because you got another long defender who can guard multiple positions, be in multiple places, and still be effective no matter where he is on the court. So that's overall for my Patrick Williams analysis on his highlights and how he's going to fit into this Bulls team's rookie season. Last thing I want to talk about is really quickly is Bulls fans. Look, this season isn't about us becoming a playoff team or becoming a contending team. This season is about development, and Patrick Williams is about development, right? So just be patient with him. You know, he's not going to put up the greatest numbers his rookie season, as we all saw with Kobe White. So just be patient with him, but look for the positives in his game that don't always show up in the box score. Look at how he affects his game positively that isn't going to be, you know, it could be like a hockey assist. It could be, you know, helping on a really good defensive possession or shutting down a guy or blocking a shot. Like, those types of things is what Patrick Williams is going to make Patrick Williams so valuable for this team. So just, you know, be patient with this team. Let Billy Donovan and the rest of the coaching staff, you know, develop this team. Let AK and Emmy, you know, judge how this team's going to go forward and let them make the moves. But just be patient. That's all I have to say, especially for Patrick Williams, who I really think he can be a really good player in this league. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, if you have not seen my first Patrick Williams video on his highlights, it's in the description box below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you've gotten this far, you had to like something, right? So hit that like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next Bulls video. Peace.